Hey everyone, welcome back. We are at Saltwick today for the second hunt in 3 days. Excited to see what we can find. Saltwick is obviously one of the places I come to quite a lot. It was one of the first few videos of mine on the channel. So the plan for today is to wander over that direction around that headland. And as you can see, the tide's still quite a long way in, so it might be a bit of a trek across some of the boulders just down here to start with. But we'll have some fun with it, and hopefully we can find quite a few ammonites and fingers crossed for some marine reptile bone. Minor spoiler alert, I picked this one up just now, and lovely edge of, what looks like it might even be a Perrinoceros with those nodes. So nice, put that in the bag. Found a little spot that looks like it might have a few good fossils in it. So I saw the edge of this one, so we'll take that. Did this have anything in it? Nope, but this one. Doesn't look like anything showing. I'll give that a tap shortly. What about this? Someone's given that a tap and nothing in it. The one I said I would give a tap, well, she's a beauty, so I'll leave that one and stop tapping it now. That shell looks stunning, so hopeful. Is any video from Saltwick really complete without the hanging fence? There you go. A beautiful big chunk of wood in a sandstone block. And when I say big chunk, I mean big chunk of wood. So instead of a game of spot the fossil, we're playing a game of spot the interesting nodules. If you said the ones down here, you would be correct. So that one, has a deck in it. Nice. This one, nothing yet, so we'll give that a tap with a hammer and see what we can find. It's become a bit of a proper fossil hunting day here on the coast. A lot of rain and intermittent showers, so the photography and filming is going to be crap. So apologies for that. Another game of spot the fossil, this time whilst I'm on my lunch break. So, if you saw it right there, in the middle of the shot. Boop. Nice little ammonite by the looks of it. Yeah, lovely little ammonite. Little deck. Take that one. And another game right after that one. This ammonite is probably easier to see but less well preserved. If you saw it right here, another deck, but the middle's gone. Oh, it was a double too. I might give that a tap, see if this second one here is in any better shape. And here we have a classic Andrew word of a shamer. So it's a beautiful Perrinoceros. You can see all the nodes all the way around it. Sadly, middle is gone. So we will leave it. That's a shame. Saltwick Bay is always recommended as a place to come because there's loads of fossils here. I'm a long way from the cliff, it's up there, but big chunk of shore, and I'm just working along these pebbles, and there's a lot of stuff in here, but it takes a bit of looking. So this nodule is a perfect example. Don't have to be close to the cliffs. Just picked it up, and there's a little keel sticking out of it right there. I've been picking up a few others, and I'm quite excited for this one. There's a hildy in there. You can see with that distinct keel. And a couple of other nodules just in this area that have some promise. So we'll give these all a tap in a minute. I've got a big collection of nodules. So I've moved probably all of about 5 feet from where I was. You can see the pile of rocks just there that I was picking up. I got this nodule just from that bit of rock there, a bit of ground there. You might just be able to see some nice little spines sticking out of it. So this will be quite a good one. That'll get wrapped up and taken home. I've got a stunking great pile of nodules to be splitting. Some of them have ammonites in them, some of them you can see keels in down here, others no idea. So I'm going to be splitting a lot of these. Some will probably go badly, some will be good, but I will try and show you some of the good ones, and I'll be back with you when I do. Beautiful. Now that's a lovely little Hildoceros. Gotta love those. So first one, the one that I knew had a hildy in it, and it split a treat. Got to love those. Perfect, another hildy. Not going to complain too much at all. Like a good hildy. Shame. Exploded into lots of pieces. Ask a person who fossil hunts in Yorkshire what is a sight they'll never get tired of, and I think they would say that little thing there. Ammonites just poking up with a little keel in the gap in the rocks. Not too bad, not beautiful, but not too bad. We'll take it. Dacks are a dime a dozen on this coast, but they are still beautiful to pick up from in the rocks. Lovely. This is a pretty good example of a belemnite. Not perfect, but we've got the main guard, as it's called, the bullet shaped bit. The tip would be under here somewhere, and as it comes back you hit the cone, the phragma cone bit at the back. This is what the pyrite bits are here. They don't tend to preserve in 3D unless you get them in a nodule, and you get like nice rings of them. Not a great example, but probably one of the best ones I've found so far, which says a lot about how few I found. But it's lobster remains, so you can see arms and claws coming down off of it. So it's quite nice, and then both sides. So we'll see what we can do and see if we can get that home. I'm back from that end of the beach. I'm going to go try and see Whitby end, which is right behind me. Quite a few families around, which is quite nice to see them fossil hunting. I hopefully have directed them at some slightly better spots, so everyone seems to start here and just fossil hunt this bit. But if you go out and around that corner, just around where the boat is, there's a lot more stuff to be found. Obviously just be careful of the tides. But it was nice getting to give them a few dacks, because obviously it means a lot more to them than it does to me to get a dack. I'm quite happy with that. Hopefully we'll find a few more bits and pieces as we go on the other side. A fairly small haul from Saltwick Bay. I gave away 6 or 7 of the dacks that I had on the way back to families with kids looking for fossils, because I mean all they're going to do with me is either get prepped or end up in the back garden, so might as well send it to some people who will enjoy them a lot more. Highlights of the trip, definitely going to be my one really nice hildy. So an absolute beauty of a hildy. An absolute beauty of a hildy. Popped open really nicely. I will always be happy if I have a hildy find like this on a fossil hunt. Whether I find anything else, don't care. One nice hildy will make me very happy. So that was a really good one. The other one is my spiny ammonite, which unfortunately has taken a bit of battering in the bag, even in bubble wrap. So you can see it's lost a couple of its spikes here, and there's still a few visible, but unfortunately it's lost some of them in the bag. So hopefully we can do a bit more with that down the line, but not sure what I can do with it with the tools I have. The Dremel will not be sufficient for trying to keep those spines in place. One other cool little find I thought I'd show off is my little lobster again. So people will wonder, how can you tell this is a lobster? If you have a look, you can see this, the little brown things have this little spotty texture, and it looks just like crab or lobster legs do today, and exactly what it is. So this one's came out quite nicely. You can see that there's some glue on it that gives it the shine. Not just on the legs, but also on the rock itself. So can't complain too much. A nice little day out at Saltwick, as I said. It's quite a nice looking dack there and here. So I'll have a go at prepping some of these later on some of the streams down the line. Thanks everyone for joining me, and I'll catch you soon.